No, don't say Helen of Troy. She's not Helen of Troy. She's just Helen. Everybody wants to equate her to Helen of Troy, but Helen is her own person. Please, for the love of God, do not say Helen of Troy. Who was Helen?
So that question can be taken in two ways. To me, that one route is just explaining literally like who is Helen, like giving her like date of birth and like all that stuff, and then just like who she is as an adult. So first I'm going to explain sort of like the background and stuff. So there's a bit of a debate and difference among our sources about who the parents of Helen were, because some sources have it as Tyndareus and Leda, some have it as Zeus and Leda, and some have it as Helen being hatched from a swan egg. Because all of this is known in antiquity, and it's not seen as a problem in antiquity, Helen is allowed to be sort of this like from her very beginning, she is a multi-faceted person, but it also creates problems about who she is because in Euripides' Helen states that she's not even sure who her parents are, and so from the very beginning of her life, she's not sure who she is, but sort of along the way from Sparta to Troy to Egypt and then back to Greece, she sort of finds who she is, or finds who she might want to be, or just finds things that she finds interesting. But she is somebody who always has the right thing to say in the right type of situation. She can think quick on her feet to turn a situation around. She can play the role of philosopher, as seen again in Euripides' Helen, where she questions Teucer to question his reality and if there's perhaps more to reality than what can be seen. She plays the role of psychologist in Odyssey Book 4, where she administers a drug called No Pain to Menelaus and the other Troy veterans that are feasting in the dining hall, because they're all at this point crying and remembering the different tragedies they have experienced at Troy. In Egypt, she learns medicine, so she is a doctor, she can learn medicine. Helen is also a storyteller, because in book 3 or 4 of the Iliad, I forget which, the very first image that we get of Helen in the Iliad is one that she is weaving a shroud, but we are not told what she is weaving, so she could be weaving, or I think we are, I don't, because it's of the Trojan War, but we're not told what the actual scene is. So she is telling her own story through that shroud, but we will never know what it is. She is a cult goddess that people worship to, and people go to her to be healed. There is an example of people bringing their babies to the shrine of Helen in Sparta and having that are born with like a deformity of some sort or being injured in some way, and then overnight they are fixed, they are healed, and her immortalness is even more emphasized by the fact that she does not die, but she is sort of swept away and taken to the island of the blessed. There was somebody for our final paper equated Helen with being a video game coach, because she cannot directly take part in the events of the Trojan War because she is a female. She sort of has to work behind the scenes and, for a lack of a better term, because it has negative connotations, manipulate the different players in the video game. And so that means sort of leading and instructing the different characters in the Iliad into how they are going to act in the war. And one such example is what my paper was about, which is the fact that Helen manipulates Paris into going out and fight in book 6 because he is just sitting on his pretty little ass in his bedchamber doing nothing. I'm just trying to remember all that we talked about in our class. There was so much more. Like, she's a doctor, like a pharmaceuticalist,
A pharmacist?
Pharmacist?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a queen. Presumably she's dealt with high-ranking officials and knows how to deal with them and has some aspect of diplomacy which may help her in knowing what to say in every single situation. She is a mother to one daughter. She is protectorate of the young. She is a Kurotrophos, which again ties back into the fact that people would come to her shrine and bring their babies with a deformity or with some ailment and would have Helen heal them. She's a sister. That's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.